Okay, we see the curl on the left of the spinnaker. Watch the time how Eric's keeping it on edge, like we see right there. Two ends of the spinnaker are even, but sometimes it's difficult to see the leeward clew, because here we can see Eric flying the chute cannot see the leeward clew through the main. So if we set the center seam of the spinnaker parallel to the mast, that would be a better guide. Here you go. There, see the center seam of the spinnaker right up through the logo there? It's parallel to the mast, which is kept that way by the two ends being even, which is kept by the pole being right at the right height. See the curl that Eric's keeping in the spinnaker all the time, trying to keep it on edge. Notice the halyard is off the top of the mast, 6 or 8 inches or so. That's good. Here's a tight reach. Again, same type of program, same thing. Slow, square. Deal already has the pole hooked onto the mast. Notice how the jibe is fairly slow. Slowly, Mike heats it back up to a reach. And he is actually the guy doing the balancing. He is the person balancing the boat through the jibe, as you notice. Eric has to see where he's going to see what the chute's doing. Delia has to jibe the pole, and then she goes back to leeward. Notice how Mike's holding the hiking stick with it aimed to leeward. Now the weather, of course. Notice how the jibe is fairly slow. Nothing slamming around, especially in this light air. There's a center seam parallel to the mast. There's a curl that Eric's carrying all the time. Again, the halyard off the top of the mast. And notice how the telltale, much of the time, is flying off the top bat, which shows that the vang is set just right. Going into the drop here. Notice how Eric's holding the guy out to try to keep the chute flying. This is an excellent technique. Delia helps, pulls the chute around. They drop it in front of the grating. Notice how the jib is eased as Mike trims the main in. He slowly turns the boat up. Boat flat all the way through the routine. Nice tack, very slow in the beginning, very smooth, no heel to leeward. Notice the overbend wrinkles here, even in this light to medium air, showing that Mike has his mast bending just right. That comes from the looser diamonds and the butt of the mast being ground just right so the mast has some flexibility. Notice how tight Mike's trimmed this main, even this lighter stuff. Notice how he slowly heads the boat up into the wind. And now he eases the main out. Look how far it's off the transom right now as he flattens the boat out to come out of this tack. And only once the boat's up to speed right now does he pull it back in. Very nice tack. Let's watch Eric this time. As they head up, Eric has it out of the cleat right there. Sits up. You helped him, you saw him ease it out. He's the last person to come up to the high side. how flat Mike has the boat. Now notice how the helm is balanced. Okay, slowly he has the boat up the wind. He trims the main end tighter there to help the boat go through the tack. Pops it out right there in the middle. This time we saw Delia come up first to help flatten the boat. Notice where Mike has his outhaul tension. That shelf seam is just about an inch and a half off the side of the boom. The jib sheet is right on the trim line. Perfect right there. See the jib. Jib up has a little bit of wrinkles off the each snap. Notice how Delia is the one that feels the weight through the tack. And this time she was one of the last ones up. Notice how Mike has his Ingham ease. Okay. Notice how these guys are sitting real close together. Delia is a little bit behind the shroud. Not right up next to it. Again, the wrinkles all the way up and down. Notice how that top telltale stalls a good bit of the time. Again, wrinkles along the left. Notice how when Mike's steering, the weather telltale is breaking every now and again.
You guys say you're trimmed for, the jib's trimmed for power? See, to me the jib looks like it's a little...
Out while I'm trying to get it flat. Now that we're going, trim almost as tight as I can. Actually look at the top and fatten in. I feel it stall like right now. Now I'm going up the speed, get some height. It's not flat enough, so I'm going to ease for a second. Still not flat enough. Perfect, right there.
Notice where the helm is through this whole thing. Notice how it's not moving at
A
all.
lot of times we have it so flat we can't even droop. Look at Delia right now. Take a shot at Delia. Can't even droop, they're so flat. Unfortunately, Eric has really short legs.
What do you think about that, Eric?
Women like that. Not flat enough again. Here we go. Perfect.
What's your key, Mike, for knowing it's not flat enough?
What's that?
How do you know when it's not flat enough?
Two reasons. First of all, I just look at the horizon. I look at the boat, it's perfectly flat. Unless there's waves. Second reason is...
No helm, huh?
When I go by, I think there's no lift off the rudder. I hate to use the rudder. If I'm steering, I'm doing something wrong. Pull on it just a little bit.
Can we slide around the lure to get the jib? About an inch and a half off the spreader up there we can see. Mike has little straws up there.
We're going to attack and go toward that mark around.
Okay.
All right. Ready to go?
We talk about that upper batten being parallel to the boom. We can see the curve here of the batten. We should talk about the chord of the batten being parallel to the boom. Notice how Mike does not move the tiller at all. Very little. Mike just said he's struggling to keep it flat. What do you do now, Mike, to keep it flatter?
Just never keep the main cleaning. He's moving all the time. A little wave right there, I bear off easily. A little flat spot, trying to pin that up.
When would you let the traveler down, Mike?
Not for a long time. Not till it's pretty windy.
Good call.
We're going around this park and theoretically pop the chute.
How Mike eases the main out, the jib stays in tight so the boat bears off. Notice how he's standing to leeward to balance the boat. Notice how Dio slammed the pole forward when it came back. Okay, here's Chedley sailing downwind. Notice how Ched's sitting on the high side to balance the boat. Once again, the tiller is centered, showing a balanced helm. That center seam is parallel to the mast. Bud's got a little bit of curl on the luff here. Cunningham's east, wrinkles all the way to the tippy top. And look at that telltale flying, showing the vangs just about right. Very different style here, not much roll. Chad, can you guys do another? Notice how Chad's forcing the weight by putting his foot up on the seat tank. Nice job with the pole. Notice how Bud stays right in the middle of the boat and balances the boat. There's that halyard off again at the top. Notice the group isn't really jammed really far forward in the boat.
Smile, you're on camera.
Boat flat. There's that curl.